Welcome to the program. I'm Mark Imperial. This segment's being brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done and published to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. I'm doing a series of spotlights on remarkable business intermediaries and exit planning advisors from across the country and around the world. And joining me on this segment is Roxanne Reid. She's the founder of Capital Valuations. Roxanne, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me here today.
Roxanne, tell us a little bit about your work and specifically tell us who are the types of clients that you specialize in working with?
Well, Mark, I work as a business broker, and what I found is that as I was being approached by businesses who are saying, I'm interested in selling, many of them didn't know where to start. And with that, they didn't say, I want to sell, but I don't know how to go about doing it. What's my company worth? So there's a lot of moving parts to selling a business, and being ready to sell is a key part of maximizing all those hard years of work that you've put into your business. So my ideal customer is somebody who is thinking about selling, and they're about 3 to 5 years from actually taking that step, and what to have in place and how to be ready for the day they say today's the day. The truth of the matter is, though, Mark, that every business should be ready to sell every day. Run your business every single day like it's for sale, because we don't know when we're going to exit or under what terms we're going to exit. We plan for retirement, but there's other life events that happens. There's disability, there's disease, there's divorce. Sometimes you're dissolving partnerships. So there are other factors that can trigger an exit event outside of retirement.
Business owners excited to grow their businesses, think growth, 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 and I'm sure that selling is probably an afterthought. And that's one of the inspirations for this series, is to shine a light on, where do I start? So tell us, Roxanne, where do they start? How do they look at their business when it comes to getting it ready to sell?
Well, Mark, that's a really good question, and it's one that I get asked regularly. Where do we start? Well, we start with where you're at. It's as simple as that. So where are you at financially? Where are you at with your management team? Do you have a management team? So with that, which is why I launched into the capital valuations part of my business, is to help people be prepared and get started by starting with an evaluation of their business. And there's 3 things that every business owner is going to want to know. And as a certified exit planning advisor with the Exit Planning Institute, we have supporting materials for business owners who, resources and information. But the 3 things you want to know, there's 3 gaps you want to look at: your profit gap, your value gap, and your wealth gap. And with starting with the profit gap and the value gap, a lot of people are, like you say, growth, 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 growth. But the value of the business isn't only the revenue that it produces. What if you have a $10 million business, but you're losing 12? So it's not about revenue and growth, growth, growth. It's what are you doing within your business itself, and what makes your business attractive to a buyer. So the valuation reports that I prepare, I have a valuation. I work with several different programs, but one of the key programs that I find for identifying gaps and knowing what to do is it's around going through your company and what would make your company first in class. And if you were to take the revenue that you're making now, and let's say that you don't increase your revenue, but you close your gaps in the value of your business and your profit gaps, because the question that you have to ask yourself is, what good could you be doing in your business with that extra cash flow? So if you were to close those gaps, how does it impact the value of your business? So the report that I work through, when I go through with business owners, covers 400 data points and 8 key drivers of business. And when we're done with that, uh, we're going to be able to tell you where your profit gaps are and what the key drivers and where to focus. Because you don't want to major in the minors. You don't want to be focusing on something that's going to give you a small return. You want to focus on what's going to give you the biggest return, the biggest bang for your buck, especially if you're looking at 3 years to 5 years before you exit.
Fascinating. So, speaking of like folks having lack of information or myths or misconceptions, what are some of the biggest like myths or misconceptions that are out there around selling a business? What do people think?
Oh, that's a really big question. And there are some things that you see time and time and time again. And that is where business owners think that the value of their business is based on what they want from it. And as I mentioned, there's 3 gaps you want to look at: your profit gap, the value gap, and the wealth gap. And that wealth gap is a key piece. So when you get ready to retire and you're ready to exit your business, you are looking for a number. You have a number in your head that you think I need for retirement. So all of a sudden, that's the value of your business. No, that's your personal wealth gap. And maybe that business can fill that gap, but maybe it's not going to. So it's not about the feeling of this is what I feel I want. The value of your business is what somebody's willing to pay for it.
Roxanne, what inspired you to become a business intermediary and be certified in exit planning as well? How did you get started in the field?
Well, that's a really interesting question as well, Mark, in that I retired 2 years ago at the beginning of COVID, March the 1st. And I had plans. I had some things lined up. My daughter had been married the year before. And, in my lifetime, I had been a florist. I had owned my own business. And so I've gone through an exit strategy and I sold my business. And I was so fortunate at the very beginning of my business because, I was going in because I love flowers and I love design and I love. And then you get in there and there's a business to be run. And so you're looking at ways to cut costs and increase efficiencies. And I was so very fortunate to have a salesperson stop randomly at my business, had never stopped before and never stopped since. But they had a little bit of time and they pulled off the road for some gas. And I was right off a major exit and pulled into my little business because he noticed that there had been some changes. I had painted and put some flowers out and things from when he'd been in the community the last time. He stops in, meets with me, and introduced me to somebody in my industry that was operating out of Pennsylvania that had turned their business into a multi-million-dollar business. And I bought the book and followed the guidelines. And so I'm a huge lifelong learner, and I love he started out the program with, here's a book, here's resources, because, we need that help. We all need that help as business owners. So as I was saying, I have been a business owner. I have gone through an exit strategy. When COVID happened, the plans that my daughter and I had for a business fell through. We were going to be wedding planners and wedding designers. And I was going to be adding the value of the design work for the flowers. And she was going to be working with the young brides because she's in that age group, right? So it was going to be a nice balance. We'd only been promoting the business for 3 weeks, and we already had 18 weddings booked in 3 weeks. So yeah, we're well known and we're I won't say well liked in our communities, and we've got great social connections. So we were off to a great start. Well, then COVID happened. So during that time, that business fell through. I had retired and I was, what am I going to do with myself? I'm used to being the go-to person. I'm always been the person in whatever business I was working in to be the one that connected people. So I started into social media and LinkedIn primarily and Facebook, and grew out my connections and followings by the thousands and thousands, and found a job. And came across a person who was called a business broker. And it was like, I'll be, I don't tell this to everybody. It was like the universe was just coming at me. And it was like understanding and knowledge and opportunity and fully like grasping this. So I joined the company as an assistant, and because they weren't really sure if I had what it took to be a business broker, because I didn't have a lot of the background that they would normally have looked at. But then they did a personality profile, and I was a 96% match.
Wow.
So from there, I jumped in with both feet and have just been taking courses, and again, building out my LinkedIn network and building out great leaders and thought leaders that are already in the business and already in the industry. And that led me to finding the CEPA designation, the Certified Exit Planning Advisor designation. And currently, I also did a program with Harvard on negotiation. So I'm a master negotiator, because you need that when you're dealing with business and these types of situations. I'm currently involved and enrolled in the mergers and acquisitions program with I keep drawing a blank on that, Columbia Business School. And that's been just a blast. I literally just started yesterday. So building up my knowledge, building up my expertise. I've had a tremendous first year start. I have a lot of businesses under engagement, and I have learned a ton in this first year. I'm loving every minute of it.
All of your years of experience and having been through the process yourself as a business owner, selling a business, it sounds like a perfect match. Like you found exactly what you should be doing. So that doesn't come as a surprise when I hear your story. Roxanne, for folks listening who resonate with your message and really know they need to get prepared and would like to speak with you, how do they find you, connect with you, and learn more?
Well, I have my own website. It is a work in progress. So be patient. It's a lot of happening in the first year. It is www.info. That's my email. My website is www.capital-valuations.com. And I understand you're going to load that up in the information for us afterwards.
Will do. Yeah,
All right.
Roxanne, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time and sharing great insights with my audience today. And I wish you continued success for you and for all of your clients.
Thank you, Mark. And same to you.
That was Roxanne Reid, founder of Capital Valuations. And this segment's been brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done so they can educate their consumers, grow their practices, and leave a legacy. That's all for now. I'm Mark Imperial, and thanks for joining me.